welcome back to the channel. You know who it is by now.
Jimothy.
So ladies and gents, just a quick video today. Should we be playing Spellbound? Now I've seen this card like floating around at some mid-tier tables, so to speak, at locals, and I've heard a lot of people raving about it, and I just wanted to put it to you guys. Do you think this card should be played? Now if you don't know what Spellbound does, let me quickly read it to you just so you familiarize yourself with the actual card. So it says all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls cannot be tributed or used as material for fusion, synchro, XYZ or link summon until the end of this turn. Now if you notice, there's not a once per turn stipulation on this card, so you can use as many as you want depending on what happens in the game state, so that is definitely a plus. But is this card really playable? Effectively, it's kind of like a trap card. It kind of like freezes the field and just stops you from actually going any further with the cards that are already on the field. But why is this card being talked about now? So I think the reason why people are starting to kind of like shift towards Spellbound is obviously the Malice deck, but it's got a little bit of overlap with Ryzeal. Obviously with the Ryzeal cards, when they start putting a couple of monsters on field, you can just activate Spellbound and it stops them from XYZing. But where cards like Book of Eclipse can kind of like neuter or just kind of like shut down a strategy, Spellbound kind of interacts with link monsters, which is quite interesting. So with the Malice deck, and I think the Sky Striker Malice deck, which seems to be a little bit more popular than some of the other variants, typically your opponent's gonna have like 3 monsters on field to start their kind of like combo off, which is gonna be the Sky Striker Kagari, it's gonna be potentially a Hornet Drones, as well as like a Dormouse or something of that nature, some kind of Malice starter. And if you go ahead and flip Spellbound, then you're banking on your opponent to actually have the extender to be able to kind of like do something. But I don't know if this card is actually worth playing, mainly because it's only really good if you're going first. Like going second, they're already going to establish a board. Now it can play into a few things. Obviously if they're playing I don't know, Code of Soul for example, there is a little bit application there, and especially in the Ryzeal deck, depending on how they set their board up, there could be some potential applications, but I feel like it's a little bit niche. D-Barrier potentially has a little bit more coverage, mainly because you can use it against other strategies like, I don't know, what's it called, Voiceless Voice for example. But I do see where there are some application for this card. Would you play it over something else? I'm not too sure, ladies and gents, but there's been a lot of talk about it. It does stun your opponent out, and it can actually, in certain game states, especially if you've gone first and set up some kind of interaction, can just stun your opponent out of their turn, and it can just stop them from playing. So that's always a plus thing. But is it worth playing over some of the other cards out there? I am not too sure, but let me know in that comment section below, ladies and gents. What do you think about Spellbound? Worth a tech in your deck? If so, let me know in that comment section below. And we find ourselves at the end of another video. As always, if you did enjoy this content, you know what to do by now. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, all of that beautiful good stuff, and I will definitely see you guys on the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.